Hi, it's Liz here from Tourism Tribe, and I'm really pleased to make this quick presentation to you, and I hope that it's going to be helpful as you're working on your award submission for the RACV Victorian Tourism Awards. So the reason I'm making this presentation to you is I feel I've got some tips to share. I have been a State Tourism Awards judge for 6 years over the last 8 years, and I've also been a mentor to tourism operators as they're developing their award submission. In fact, I was doing that just last week with some businesses. And also I've been on the other end of things where I have had to oversee and contribute to the development of tourism awards in a business I used to run. So I've been on the journey and I know what it's like to receive the feedback from judges and to go on to be successful and win gold and get into the Hall of Fame and silver at nationals. So really pleased to share some of my knowledge with you that I hope will be helpful. Now, I've broken it down into 7 tips, and the first tip I'd like to share with you is I think it's super important to plan your approach. Now, you've got a deadline of the 6th of September at 5 p.m, and the last thing you want to be doing is to be loading content to the portal at 4:30 p.m. on the 6th of September. It'll take years off your life, and the quality of your submission just won't be as good as if you have a staged approach to this and have the time to do full reviews. So my advice is to look at a calendar, create a timeline, and work back from that date so that you're doing your final reviews and edits a few days out. You're doing a full review possibly a week out. You've got your graphics and images with their captions on them. You've got a deadline for that. And then you've also got deadlines in terms of having all of the answers to the 5 parts of the submission written, and even putting deadlines against dates for each question. Don't try to swallow the elephant whole. Break it down into sections, a question at a time, and set a deadline for each of those. My second tip is to make use of the tools and mentoring provided, and they're all accessible from the Victorian Tourism Awards website. So there's webinars there and access to mentors as well, and I highly recommend doing that. I see the benefit that people get when they work with mentors, because they've got somebody to ask questions of. They can say how they're going to answer questions, or share a draft and get some input to that. So that's highly valuable. When you're new to entering the awards, or you haven't been successful before in the awards, you want to keep improving, but you can't keep improving unless you know what the expectations are. And it's a very competitive process. Sometimes there are only a couple of points between you and the person who's won a place or won first place. So you need to really be able to do the very best work you can in these submissions. I think that it takes a team to write a winning submission. I'm not sure that somebody writing it completely on their own without the input of others can do as good a job. So in other words, it takes a village to raise a winning submission. So get others involved, collaborate, get people to help to pull data from your sales system, get people to get you copies of testimonies, brainstorm on how you're going to answer the questions. All of this will help, and it will help to share the load, and it will get others' ideas in. But it's really important when it comes to writing the overall submission that it is one person who fine-tunes that and makes sure that you're using just one voice, one style of writing. Otherwise, that creates a distraction for the judges as readers, and may not make as good an impression on the judges. My fourth tip is to start with the hardest question. Look at the 5 areas of the award submission and say, which one do I hate? Which one do I not want to do? That's the one you start with. Take the challenge, get that out of the way first, and then you'll be able to get into a flow with the other questions. It's always tempting to start with the first question, which is the easiest to write because it's about business. You know how to answer that really easily. You don't have to do too much research. It's all done for you. It's all in your head. You know it. However, that's not what I recommend. I recommend find the one that you think is the most challenging and start there. Got to be really engaging. Now remember that the judges are reading up to 30 submissions. Often they're reading them on screen. round about 12,000 words per submission. This is an exercise in communication. You want to engage the judge. As soon as they start reading your answer to question 1, you want to engage them. You're telling a great story. They don't want to stop reading this story. It's so good. So I'm not opposed to entrants writing in the first person. We did this. The reason that we love this business is because we got accredited, because, etc. So, you know, you're able to bring a little bit more passion, a little bit more being personal when you write that way. It doesn't stop you then referring to your business as an entity as well. But I do think, you know, employ good storytelling and be personable to engage the reader. Now, you can't waffle though. You've got to be concise. Remember, it's an exercise in communication. Now, the judges who are reading your submission, they're going to have different learning styles. Some of them are going to learn really well through the written word, so it's really important that you write well. You write to the questions, precisely answering them, making sure that you've read the tips for each question and really hit the target in terms of answering them, but be concise. This is where you can use dot points, tables, photos, graphics to help tell the story and really support the words that you're putting in. When you're putting the content together, always think, how do I substantiate what I'm saying? So as part of being concise is to add dollar numbers, add facts, add testimonies, etc., to always support what you're asserting. Now, this is not the time for you to give up coffee or any other substance that you use to keep your energy up and your focus nice and clear. So look after yourself seriously. This does add a whole extra load of work, which is well worthwhile, but you don't want to run yourself into the ground. But at the same time, I'd say this is not the time for a detox. It's a time for regular exercise, eating well, and just the right amount of caffeine to keep you nice and focused and get into that workflow. Now, lastly, what I'd like to reinforce is be optimistic, go for gold, put your very best foot forward in writing this submission because you could win. This is about surfacing excellent businesses in the Victorian tourism industry, and you have what it takes to be that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be entering the Tourism Awards in the first place. So go for gold. But don't be disheartened if you don't win. Or don't be disheartened if you don't get a place and it's your first time entering the awards. Like I said at the beginning, this is a journey and you will learn. You'll learn from the feedback provided by the judges. You'll learn your first submission you write is your benchmark, and then everything improves from there. So go for gold, and what you'll find is this is a very worthwhile exercise. You will learn, you will improve your business processes as a result, because when the questions are really, you know, drumming you and wanting to see evidence of your business planning, your risk management framework, your marketing strategy, how you're measuring things, when you're able to address all of that really well, you are improving your business. Now, lastly, what I'd like to just share with you why we're involved in the RACV Victorian Tourism Awards in 2019. It's because we're really enjoying our partnership with VTech and the industry in Victoria. And so we wanted to be part of this to help to contribute. What we're doing is we're providing a prize for all gold awardees that they will get a 12-month subscription to tourismtribe.com, which is 12 months of online learning through online courses, access to our help services, access to support, and our great community of tourism operators from around Australia and around the world that you can tap into and share knowledge. So we really look forward to seeing the gold awardees there on Tourism Tribe. But the other thing we're doing is for all entrants. So this is so worthwhile and definitely worth your while to submit your entry. And that is that we've got a platform that is going to get you extra marketing exposure because you've entered the Tourism Awards, and that is called our Magic Story Builder. That Magic Story Builder is a tool that we have developed, and what it does for you is it allows us to capture online your behind the scenes stories, great little piece of video you might have, or images that you have, and to really tell the story behind your business. And what we do with that is we will make you a little web ready video that can then be shared online. As well as that web ready video, we will also produce for you automatically a media release that we will send to your local media. Now, when we've done this for other operators, what they've found is sometimes the local media have picked them up, they've appeared in the weekend paper with that great image, their great behind the scenes story, and the community celebrates the excellence that is in that business in their community. And also this content, so this beautiful story that we've captured about you is a great blog post. We've got the web ready video. These will be shared by VTech on their social media channels. So extra exposure for your business just for entering the awards. And that's it from me. Brief presentation, my 7 tips. I really hope that that's been helpful, because I know it can be a bit mind-blowing and overwhelming when you've got your full-time running your business job to do and then writing this award submission, but keep going with it. It's really worthwhile and you'll get great outcomes from your business. And I wish you and the team at Tourism Tribe wish you the very best of luck in preparing your submission and on the night at the awards. Best wishes.